And then we're gonna go live on Facebook. We'll share it to SciStarter. And while our Facebook live stream gets set up, everybody feel free to introduce yourself in the comments. I see a few familiar names here. I know one person from California, which is cool. Has CrowdWater had any contributions from Californians yet?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
I think.
Well, Judy, you could be the first. Okay, we're almost live on Facebook. Everyone else, tell us where you're calling in from. And if you already have a question or something you're interested in learning about, tell us that in the chat too. I'll go first. I'm calling in from Orlando, Florida. Sunny Florida. Good times here. All right, and we are officially live on Facebook. So for those friends who are tuning in on Facebook, don't worry, we are not ignoring you. I will be monitoring the Facebook comments periodically. And for any of the polls that we have, feel free to let us know what your opinion is in the Facebook comments. We'll make sure to register that as well. And it looks like, oh my gosh, we got a good global group here. We got somebody calling
Yes.
The Philippines.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that is awesome. And where are you both calling in from?
So Sarah and me, we are both in Switzerland today, or like also when we work. So we are in Zurich.
All right. So we got a bunch of different continents represented today, which makes my heart happy. I love these global projects. I love that we can all be part of the global citizen science community. And I do see some people watching on Facebook, so don't be shy about commenting on the Facebook video and letting us know where you're calling in from. So to kind of get things started, my name is Caroline Nickerson, and I'm from the SciStarter team. I am here today and delighted to learn about CrowdWater, which is a citizen science project that is based in Switzerland. But as you might have gathered from our audience today, you can participate from anywhere in the globe. So SciStarter is a resource for citizen science. Citizen science is public engagement in real scientific research. It's everything from astronomy to biodiversity to health to zoology and everything in between. If there's a science for something, there's a citizen science project that probably goes along with it. And you can participate in citizen science whenever you volunteer or do something to move science forward. Most often, you're collecting or analyzing data for an ongoing research project, but there's a whole universe of citizen science projects out there, and you can find over 3,000 projects, events, and tools listed on SciStarter. And we fully recognize that that can be a little overwhelming for people. So that's why we think it's so important to have events like these with folks like CrowdWater. So you have one featured project that you can really dive into, pun intended, and get started. And so it's Citizen Science Month currently. That's April every single year. And even though we do citizen science every single day of the year at SciStarter, April's our excuse to kick it up a notch. So there are events every single day that you can discover on citizensciencemonth.org and on SciStarter. That being said, I'm going to pass the mic to our friends at CrowdWater, and they're going to educate us about their project and how you can get involved. I want to also quickly note that this is the first event of a two-part series. We have our next event same time next week. That being said, if you have friends and family who couldn't make it today, you can have them tune in to next week's event, no problem, and they'll still be able to ask really cool questions about CrowdWater and learn how to get started. This event is just kind of our deep dive into this particular citizen science project. It's currently being live streamed to Facebook, so the recording will be available at facebook.com/SciStarter after the event. And we really want to be interactive with you, so be vocal in the chat, put stuff in the Facebook comments, and for those of you who are with us on Zoom, at the end, if you want to ask a question with audio and video, you can use the Zoom raise your hand function, and I'll make sure to promote you to panelist. All right, that being said, over to CrowdWater.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Hello and welcome everyone to our Getting Started webinar. We are so excited that you join us today. And we are Sarah and Miriam from the CrowdWater project. We are so happy to share with you our project today. As you notice in the title of the webinar, we hope that you at the end will feel motivated to help to predict droughts and floods with CrowdWater. This is the CrowdWater team. Jan and Emilia are our supervisors. Miriam and I are the PhD students in the project. And one important member in the team is Francisca, who is our community manager. So, well, what is CrowdWater? We are a citizen science project in hydrology based in the University of Zurich in Switzerland since 2016. We are focused on the collection of data by engaged people using a mobile app, and we are interested in motivate people about water resources and water management, water availability and water quality. So to be aware of the availability of water in the world. We are working with data collection and communication via a mobile app. And yeah, our interest is to motivate people to be aware about water resources in the world. There are two words that probably we need to explain before to continue. And the first one is citizen science, but I think that probably most of you know what is citizen science. Citizen science is when people from the general public or without a specific scientific background collaborate with scientists in a research and in most cases collecting valuable data about a specific topic. And as I told you, we are a citizen science project in hydrology. So hydrology is the science which studies the distribution of the water in the earth. So Miriam and I, as a hydrologists, we are interested in to have a better idea of where, when, and how much water is. And for this, it's really important to have enough and proper data. So in the CrowdWater, we believe, but also like our previous studies and experience showed that the data collected by citizens can be useful for prediction and water management. So let's have a look where this data has been collected since 2016. In this map, you can see the people contribute with the CrowdWater app from many regions and different regions in the world. Most of our contributions are in Europe, around 4,000 contributions there, but you can see that in United States, South America, or Africa, we also have contributions with the CrowdWater app. So we have around 4,000 individual spots created with the app, and we have about 20,000 contributions, which means that most of these spots have been updated, but citizens are just like they create a spot, but also continue updating the information in this spot. And we have around 180 participants who contribute more than 10 times in the app. So creating a new spot or that they keep updating these spots that they created.
So after this nice introduction, I hope you're all excited to get to know how to do this and how to use the CrowdWater app. So the first steps is that you download the app on your smartphone, either at the Apple Store or the Play Store, and then you have to register in the app, and therefore you have to think of a username, and you have to put in your email address, but we won't have access to the email address. It's just to make sure that you are a real person, and so, but your mail is protected by the European privacy law, so we don't have access. And then when you are registered, you can add spots and you can update spots, and that's what I'm showing you today, how to add spots and how to update spots. So here you can see the CrowdWater app, how it looks like on the left here, and you see we have 6 categories to choose from what to observe. So if you want to know how much, or if you want to observe how much water is, you can choose the virtual stuff gauge, the soil moisture, or temporary streams. Or you can, if there is a physical stuff gauge at the place you want to observe already, you can choose this category. And if you want to know something about the condition of the water, you can use the category plastic pollution or stream type. And today we will present to you 3 of these categories: the virtual stuff gauge, the stream type, and the temporary streams. So let's start with the virtual stuff gauge. This was also the first category we focused on, not actually Sarah and me, but the previous PhD students, Barbara and Simon. And with this category, you do observations of the water level in a stream. And so if you go for a walk, for example, with your dog, like our Droppy is doing here, you can get your phone out of your pocket and make a picture of a stream and add a virtual stuff gauge with the help of a sticker. And so I will show you more precisely now how this is done in the app on your phone. So this is the app looks like when you open it and you are registered. Then you can click on this black plus at the bottom of the page, and you will see this question popping up. And we want to create a new spot for the virtual stuff gauge. So we say that we want to have a new spot and not to update one nearby. And then we have this screen, which I showed you already before. So here we first have to make sure that the crosshair is at the right position. We are standing at the moment. This is sometimes a bit, depending on the phone, this can be a bit off and on the connection. So we have to make this manually sometimes, or make sure that it's placed correctly. This is very important. And so we select the category, the virtual stuff gauge, and then we take a picture of the river. And so the river looks like this. And then we kind of should estimate, like, is the water level high or medium or low? And here we actually see like this line here. So I guess normally the water would be here. So it's rather a low water level. So I pick the green water level, the green stuff gauge, and then I adjust the size. So this would be rather a bit small, and maybe really high water levels could not be covered. So this is a nice size. And then I click on OK, and I save, and I already have my first spot. So that's awesome. And why we're actually also interested, or it's especially informative, if you want to predict droughts or floods, to have a time series. So it's really important or really interesting to update those spots. So I will also show you how to do this. There you can just click this small blue plus, and not this one, but this one. So you will update the spot. Again, you take a picture of the river. It looks like this time, and you press OK. And then you actually have to check with the reference picture of the first, of when you created the spot, how the water level changed. So here you can see the reference picture with the virtual stuff gauge with this sticker. And then you will see the old one. And here you can see the water level decreases. So I would say it's -2 now. And then I save it. And here you can see that we have now 2 observations on this spot. So, and if we do this really often, we can actually have nice time series, which we can do a lot of analysis with, and they are very useful. They have been proven already to be useful if we do like predictions about droughts and floods. So here you could see the water level rising and falling again. And these pictures have really been done by a citizen. So this is really awesome. And now we come to the second category we will present today, the temporary streams. And I'm sure maybe some of you already know what temporary streams are, but there I will explain it anyhow. There are streams that do not always contain water. So here you see a temporary stream in March with no water flowing, and then the next year in April with lots and lots of water. And why it is so interesting to collect data is that actually these temporary streams cover more than half of the total global river network. So they are really important for the water resources. They are highly dynamic systems, so they change a lot over time. So they can go from no flow, no water in the riverbed at all, to a lot of flow. So it's really important to observe them. But so far they are rarely ever monitored. And also climate change will have a lot of effects on it. And they serve actually as habitats for like fish and microorganisms, like you see here on the side. So for them, it should probably not be dry for too long in order to survive. So it is very important to consider temporary streams if you want to predict water resources and water quality. And therefore, we need time series of temporary stream observations. And I will show you now how to create such time series. So first, as with the virtual stuff gauge, you have to create a new spot, or you can also update one, but I will show you first how to create a new spot. So it's the same. You click at the black plus at the bottom, and then you want to create a new spot, and you this time also shift the crosshair to the right position, and then you select the category temporary stream, and you make a picture again. This time the stream looks like this, and you make sure to mark the area which is your reference area to observe the status of the stream. And then you press OK. After, you have to select what you observed in the stream. So you can either see a dry stream bed, a wet stream bed, isolated pools, standing water, trickling water, or flowing. And in this case, it is definitely flowing, but we will also have a look at other examples later. And of course, you can always leave a comment if you have any questions, or if you want to point out something, or if you're not sure about something. We will always read these comments and answer them. And it's also nice if you just say hello. We will definitely say hello to you the first time you do an observation. And yeah, then you can already save the spot, and you have the first temporary stream spot. And then when you want to update the spot, you again click on the small blue plus, like for the virtual stuff gauge. So you first have to make sure you really selected that spot. That's also important. Then you click on the plus, and then the category is already selected, and you take a picture. And this time the streams looks like this. You save the picture, and now you can compare the picture. So here it was, you actually don't have to compare the picture, but we do this now. So here it was flowing, and here I would say it's damped. So then again, you can leave comments and save the observation. And you see there's a second observation, and we already have a time series. So I said I will show some more examples of the different status of temporary stream, and we will do this a bit interactive. So we will do a quiz, and Caroline prepared some poll questions for us. So yeah, you can also answer them you can also make comments on Facebook if you're watching on Facebook. And so I thought in this presentation, most of you will come from the States, but in the comments, I already saw that you come from everywhere, and that's super awesome. That's so exciting. And so Sarah and I are here. And the observation I will show you is actually a real observation from the CrowdWater app. Someone contributed from Svalbard. So it's our most northern temporary stream observation. And I will show you the picture. It looks like this. And so
I would like to votes come in. So far, a few people think it's flowing, and we also have some people voting for damp/wet stream bed. So for those of you watching on Facebook, make sure you get your votes in the Facebook comments. And don't be shy, everybody. Just give it your best guess.
Yeah, and I also have to say, like, of course, it's much more difficult from pictures. And like if you're there in person, it's much easier to decide. So it's also sometimes in the picture you don't see something which the participant or the citizen actually saw. So don't worry.
All right, I'll give you all 3 more seconds to vote. 3, 2, 1, and I'm gonna end the poll. I'll share those results. So it looks like 46% of those here, so 6 people in Zoom, thought it was a damp, wet stream bed. 3 people thought it was trickling water, and 4 people thought it was flowing.
Okay, so let's have a look what the citizens thought who was there. So she said it's flowing. So yeah, a third of you got that right, or like the same like the citizen. So I think it really depends also where you look at. So here it could be damp and wet. And so here where the arrow it's probably more flowing. So the arrow is pointing to that river. So, but I also have a second question, the same, and the third one. So let's do this again, this time in India. There we see this, and just consider the status within this circle.
This is kind of a tough one. I don't know. But oh my gosh, no one agrees with me. We have almost unanimous consent for dry stream bed so far.
And what did you vote? Or it's you don't have to tell.
Struggling because I see a pipe there and like whatever. If everyone else thinks it's dry stream bed. Oh, so one person said damp, wet stream bed so far. I'll give you all a few more seconds to vote. And for those watching on Facebook, don't be afraid to comment what you think. We are watching. All right, we have some people on Facebook who are saying, oh my gosh, everybody thinks dry stream bed. I can't speak today. Dry stream bed. And they're laughing at me. Someone commented, haha. I'm going to end the poll because I've been mocked. All right, we'll share these results.
Okay. So most of you thought it's a dry stream bed. And that's actually also what Barbara thought it is when she was on vacation, or I don't know what she did in India, but I know she's was doing the PhD here, so I know her actually. Yeah, so yeah, that's worked very well. And so the damp wet would be like here, which is not in the circle. But it's also difficult to differentiate between dry and damp, I think. So let's do the third question, this time in Oregon, in the state. And here we have this, and I think this is actually a hard one, so I didn't want to make it easy for you guys. So give it your best try.
If you're watching on Facebook, let us know in the comments. Get those votes in, everybody. So far, it looks like about half of people think it's an isolated pool, and the other half think it's standing water.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll let you all vote, give you a few more seconds. All right, we're going to end the poll in 3, 2, 1, and end poll. We'll share those results.
Okay, so it's like 50-50 between isolated pools and standing water. And the citizen who was in place said isolated pools. So I'm really impressed actually, because I was looking at the picture. I was like, oh, this could be like everything, but nice job, guys. Like, I think you definitely nailed it. Okay, so I think you really successfully got how to to choose the status of these temporary streams. So we are ready for the next category now, for the stream type category. And here you can answer questions like, would you actually drink the water do you see in the river or stream? Or would you just swim in it? Or would you actually not swim in it at all? And is the water clear? Which size it is? So is it a stream or like a huge river? Do you see any animals like fishes or insects or birds, like water birds? And what's the color of the water? So you are collecting general information about the stream. And this general information is helping with everyday decision makings about waterways. So, for example, the question if you would swim in it or not. And also, in many studies, the color has been used as an indicator for water quality. So, if the water is really deep, if you have like a really brown water, there's a lot of sediments often within it. Or if it's like really green and this like really specific green color, there are maybe harmful algae or it's eutrophicated. And so while in this category, we don't use a measurement device to measure one specific water quality component, we actually still get quite a nice overview about the stream's health. And we have the advantage of not having any measurement device. So everyone around the world can actually collect data about this stream type and about the health of the stream. So that's really, really nice. And so here we will do again a small quiz to kind of that you get to know more what we are asking here for or what you can observe here. And after I will show you in the app how precisely to use it. So Caroline, we're ready for our next question. And this time it's a really nice river, I think, in Costa Rica, where Sarah is actually from. And the question here now is if the water body is natural or controlled. So you see like here some stones and the river flowing here and some nice trees where I don't know the names of because I'm a hydrologist. And yeah, but I'm sure also some hydrologists know the names of the trees. Don't, yeah. So yeah, feel free to give it a try.
We have unanimous, we have a dissenter. So everyone but one person voted for natural, and we're going to end the poll and share those results.
Okay, so I agree with the majority. I think it's pretty natural. And then I have a second question for you. It's a different stream now, but again from Costa Rica, on Costa Rica stream. And here's the question if you would swim in this water or not.
And don't be shy, answer honestly. Answer on Facebook as well. We're looking at those comments. I would swim in it.
Yeah?
Yeah. But it looks like the majority of folks who have voted so far would, but we have some people who wouldn't, which is totally okay too. We're not forcing you to go swimming. And the poll and share those results.
Okay, so 70% would swim in the water. And I think it's difficult to say because it's really subjective. So I think Sarah, me, we both rather would not swim in it. And for me, it was also a bit like not actually the water quality, but also like the current I was not so sure about. And I also not from Costa Rica, so I also don't know about any animals. I'm not sure. I have to ask Sarah about this, if there are like any things I have to be afraid of in the water.
And I think that is like interesting when people are in front of the river and taking the pictures. So we are really like getting the information from the citizen who really knows the river. And yeah.
Okay, so as you see, we have also like a third quiz question. So here it's again a stream in Costa Rica. And we wanted to know if you can see the riverbed on this picture. So the riverbed is actually the floor of the river, like where the water is touching the soil, let's say it. So can you see this here?
So far, it looks like the majority of people think they can see the riverbed, but I'll give you all a few more seconds to vote on Facebook and on Zoom. Looks like all of our friends on Facebook can see the riverbed.
Okay.
And we're gonna end the poll. And it looks like the majority of our friends on Zoom can also see the riverbed.
So that's good, because Sarah and I, we could also see the riverbed. And yeah, you're really good. And then there's another question for this riverbed, for this river, sorry. So we were wondering about the color of the water. So do you think the water is clear, or the color of the water is green, brown, gray, or yellow?
Well, the votes are coming in, and it looks like so far the majority of people think clear. Checking Facebook as well to see what people think over there. All right, a lot of people think clear. I'll give you all 2 more seconds to vote. Well, 3 more seconds. So 3, 2, 1, and we're gonna end the poll. And I will share those results. So it looks like the clears are in a clear majority, so to speak.
Yes, and I think, yeah, we decided also for clear, because we could see the riverbed, no? Like, and then it's very likely the water to be clear. So you're like all gave some nice answers. So let's have a look how to do this in the app, the stream type. We add a new spot again. So you already know it's like the black plus at the bottom of the app. You want to start a new spot, and you select the stream type. You also make sure to be on the right position here again. You take a picture of the stream. This time it's a different stream again. I think this time in Switzerland. So you save the picture, and you can select the kind of running water, so the size of the river. So it's rather a stream. Here the picture again for you to look at. So we decided on a stream, and we would not drink this water because it's in a rather urban area, and we would swim in the water, and the water body is rather controlled this time. Like, it's not like the previous picture where we had like a open riverbed. No, it's like really strict. So it's a controlled riverbed, and you can select the type of riverbed material here. So you have different options to choose from. So it can be like really fine sand, or big boulders, or like here we select bedrock, and then we click on OK again. Then we select the color of the water, which is clear. It looks a bit dark here, but it's actually sometimes also, if the if the bedrock is really dark, sometimes the water seems to be dark, but it's actually clear because you can see the surface. And we save this again, and we can see the riverbed, maybe not from this picture, but if you're there, actually, you can see it. And we saw like a small fish, and we didn't see any signs of water pollution, which is really nice. And so we can save this spot, and we it looks like this now. And of course, you can also update the spot, which is actually very interesting. Also, if you maybe update other person's spot, because in the quiz we already saw like that you maybe for the same condition actually have different opinions. So because the questions are very subjective, and so it's actually nice if you update your own spots over time, but also it's very interesting if you update other people's spots. And yeah, that were the 3 categories I wanted to show you. And Sarah will continue now with some hints for you, or like some, yeah.
Thank you so much, Miriam, for this nice introduction to how to use the CrowdWater app. And I just want to tell you another things that are happening in the app, actually, because we really try to keep the communication with you or with our participants in the app. So we are really happy to help you whenever you have a question. As Miriam said, you can leave us a question in the comments, but also we are always giving you feedback about your contributions in the app. Here in this picture, you can see that the citizen asked us about something about update spots in this specific spot that she was creating. So like, as you can see, Francisca, our community manager, just explained her more about the updates or the update option in the app. So in case that you feel that you can make something wrong while you are using the app, we have to say that you don't have to feel that, because there is not much wrong that you can do, and we will always paying attention for these things and sending you feedback about this. The other thing is that also with this option that we have to keep in contact with you using the app, is that we also notice some common mistakes that you can make when you are using the app, and that is actually something that you are always seeing in the comments that Francisca is helping you to correct in the observations. For example, one of these common mistakes is to upload new observations instead of update some spots that are already created. So here we just want to emphasize that it's more useful to update a spot than to create a new spot. So if you go to the start screen in the app and you go to the plus icon in the bottom, then you click on it, and then you will receive this message that is if you want to update a spot which is close to you. So here are like the list of some spots that probably are close to you and you probably want to update instead of create a new one. If you decide to update one of these because it's close, or you think that, oh, it's really interesting to go to this place. For example, you choose this one with the virtual stop gauge. So the app go to this other screen where show you the spot. So you can click on the plus in this blue circle, and then you have the option to update this spot with your own observation. So probably is the spot that someone else create, and you are just updating this information. So at the end, you can see in the next screenshot, like how a spot with so many updates looks like. And as we told you, it's really important in case that we want to have this time series for the same spot, because it's really useful to get an idea or to can see these changes in a same place over the time. Another common mistake is about the location, because sometimes like the points are not like located in the exact place where you observe that. You can use the GPS that you have in your phones. So just to activate that, so like the GPS automatically puts you in the place. But here, for example, we want to show you that in the picture that we upload in this spot, it's more, well, it looks like some trees and everything, and like the location in the maps is like in the middle of our urban area. So definitely we should go manually and change the position of the crosshair, and to like put this in the correct way or in the correct place. So this is a really common mistake because we can understand for sure that we always forget to activate the GPS option in our phones. But also if you don't want like that someone is tracking your location, you can of course, or if you want to use the app offline, because that is another option that we have. If you don't want to use the app or your internet connection while you are going like outside and taking pictures and having this, you can, like when you are at home, you can upload the points, so you manually can put the location of the spot. So just remember, and just to make sure that the GPS location of your spot is correct. And I think that we have another common mistake, yeah, about the temporary streams that Miriam presented to you. And this one is more about the use about this circle or the arrow, because sometimes we forget to put these icons in the picture. And these icons are really important, not just for us to know where did you observe the temporary stream, but it's also because if someone else wants to update your spot, like she or he needs to know where did you observe, so then she or he can compare the state of the temporary stream. So please just don't forget to use the circle or the arrow if you are using the temporary stream. And yeah, I think that, well, as we told you in the presentation of the webinar in the SciStarter website, we have some like a surprise for you, and is that we really hope that with this presentation you feel motivated to use the CrowdWater app. And for this motivation, we would like to have a championship during this next week. So between today and the next Saturday, when we will have another webinar. So the idea is just that you are, well, we hope that you now are interested to download the app in your phones. So we hope that in this week you can go outside and create some CrowdWater spots. And for this, the championship is that you will let us know that you attend this webinar and that you are participating in this championship. So in the comment section in the app, when you are creating your new spot, you leave us a comment saying like SciStarter webinar or championship, or I don't know, like any message that you would like to send us, just like to let us know that you are participating in the championship. And the idea is, and also like the part of the surprise that we have is that we are really sending you a real prize. So we really want to wait and see how many people and who contributes the most during this week using the app. Then I think, so yeah, the idea is that now you have 1 week to go and test the CrowdWater app, and then we invite you to meet again next Saturday at the same time as today. But this is to meet and have this kind of feedback webinar and ask in questions webinar. So the idea is that you can ask questions, give us feedback, but also we are really happy to hear your experiences during this week using the app. We will also announce the winners of the championship, and I think that we are planning also to introduce the CrowdWater game, which is another platform that we have in the CrowdWater project. So the idea is just to meet again and talk about more your experience using the CrowdWater app. But if you feel that someone who is not attending this webinar today would be really interested to know more about CrowdWater, of course, you can invite him to the next webinar, and we will be happy to share with these new people next week. So some take-home messages. First, we would like to just remind you that you have the possibility to collect valuable data, valuable water data with CrowdWater app. So, and the other thing is that you don't need like a specific hydrological knowledge to participate or to get involved in the CrowdWater project. That time series are important, as we told you, like to update spots are more important than create new spots in the case that you already have some CrowdWater spots close to you. and that with this project, in participating in this project, you are really helping to improve water management and decision making with the data that we are collecting. And there are some other categories waiting to be discovered by you in the app. So today, Miriam presented us 3 of the categories that we have, but there are other categories that you can discover in the app, and I'm pretty sure that probably you will enjoy to use them. And actually, that is something interesting to share in the next webinar if you try these other categories and you have any question about it. Now we just want to invite you to download the app in your App Store or your Play Store, but also to visit our social media or to connect with us through our social media in Twitter, in Instagram, Facebook, or also if you would like to visit our CrowdWater channel in YouTube, you will find some videos and other information about CrowdWater. And we also have some tutorials. So if you forget something that Miriam explained to you today, you can have a look in our videos in YouTube. And for sure, like to visit our website where we have not just information about CrowdWater, but we also have like a tutorial for the app and so many things that probably you will be interested in about CrowdWater. So we really want to thank to SciStarter to invite us and to allow us to have this opportunity to share with you. But also we would like to thank to all the people who attend this webinar and that are here. I can see asking questions, and yeah, we are so excited and we really appreciate all your time to attend this webinar. If you have any questions, of course, you can write in the chat or you can raise your hand, or if during the week or later you have any question, you can write to our email here. Thank you so much.
We have a lot of questions. I'll start off with the ones on Facebook, and then I think we can go into the Zoom questions. The first one on Facebook is, how is the data used once the citizen scientist reports it? For example, stream type.
So for the stream type, we are still like in the developing phase. So that's actually what Sarah's PhD project will be all about. And my PhD project will be all about the temporary streams. And so far, the virtual stuff gauge, this data has already really been used and also like checked with the data quality check by citizens. And so with that, this data was then actually used to predict discharge in a stream which was only monitored by the CrowdWater participant. So this is really nice, and this really can help like adding or filling the gap of, because there's always like in hydrology a lot of data missing, and with the CrowdWater app you could actually like help filling this gap and to make sure we know more about where and when we have water and enough water.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this answers the question. So for some categories, we are still figuring out what the value of the data is and what it can be used for. And for other, this has already been done, like from Barbara and Simon, the previous PhDs.
Our next question is, how would you define a river behind a dam? Is it natural or controlled?
I think that that's a really good question, because when I saw the question, I was start to thinking about that. And I think that that could be really interested to actually see what people think about this, because probably for some people could be, yeah, a controlled river, but for others could be no. I think that also depends in where in the river are you observing this. If it's really close to this infrastructure, or if it's not close, but you still consider that the river is controlled because of this. So I think that it depends more of your opinion. And actually we don't have like a specific answer for this. We are waiting for your answer and your, I think that we really appreciate your knowledge about this and how do you consider, for example, not just if the river is natural or controlled, or if the color of the river. We are really interested in this kind of knowledge. It's your knowledge, not that is like a specific answer that we are waiting for.
Yeah. And sometimes when you think, oh, there's not a possible option to choose from, so there's only natural or controlled, and then you can also like just leave a comment and say this is so value for us, like when you would leave a comment and say like, oh, this is approximately like 100 meters distance from a dam, so I'm not sure if it's actually naturally, like the sides look naturally, but the amount of water there is really controlled by this dam. So this is like perfect to add in a comment, and that's really informative.
Sorry, my mouse wouldn't click. I was trying to unmute. The same person wants to know, can you go back to the virtual staff gauge instructions? How do we determine how to size the gauge?
So this was here. So I have to go. So here we go. So this is actually a bit tricky. I think that's the tricky part. And it really depends. If you know the river and you know like the maximum water level you ever observed it, then it's good to scale it that big. But also the risk, if you scale it too big, you might always go there and observe 0 and no changes. So it's a compromise between being able to measure the complete bandwidth of the river level, or to have the accuracy. So what you can also do if you put it like this and you want to have it really accurate, you might have a bit more mistakes in it. And then if the water level is actually here, you can also just write in a comment, oh, I think it's actually 9. The water level class is 9 now. So this is also possible. Then you just, I mean, I think you will have to select a number on this, yeah, it's not on this slide, on this scale if you update the spot. But you can just add in a comment like, I think it's over above this scale. So don't this is also possible. It's just some studies were done evaluating how many classes are useful or needed in order for the data to be valuable for predictions of discharge. And so this it was figured out that 9 classes are sufficient enough. So don't worry if it's not precise enough. It is precise enough if you use this class. We tested this and this is working.
We have another question. Is there a set distance between spots on a river? And the person asking is an educator who has a class of students that will begin research soon.
So he's thinking about like if you put a lot of spots, spots after each other.
I think this person's probably they have a whole class of students. They want to set them loose and have them all make observations. What needs to be the distance between their different spots?
I mean, it's more a question like how like it's maybe nice for the students actually to measure different things, and then when they compare their data to have different ideas. So this is like maybe more to think about what's interesting for the students to do. And if you have a school class and you do a lot of spots close to each other, this is like not really a problem for the groundwater project or something. Don't worry about that. But I would just more consider like if it's not more interesting for the students to choose different streams and then at the end like compare the graphs you can see in the app, how they have changed. And yeah, so
yeah, I can imagine something like, I don't know, like the class divided in some groups, for example, and like each group has like a different stream or different river, and they are comparing the data, but also yeah, I can imagine something, for example, the stream type category, they could compare like the color of the river, or I don't know, other questions in the app, but also plastic pollution, for example, like you can compare the plastic pollution category in different rivers. Because yeah, if you have all the students creating spots in the same place, of course, that could be this problem that we have when someone create new spots and not like update the same, which is more valuable.
Yeah, but like so for the teacher, I think he's also feel free to write us, and we also have some material for classes, and we can provide some stuff for you.
That is awesome. We have another question. Someone wants to know, would you collaborate with universities, scientists, and students in other countries? And can the data be shared with scientists and students in other countries?
Yeah, so the data is not our data. Like the data is like for everyone, and it's available on our webpage. You can download all the data, and yeah, so of course you can use the app, you can collect the data, and you can use the data and download the data. So yeah.
And
we
of
are
course
happy.
we are, yeah, sorry, no, Miriam.
Yeah, continue, Sarah.
That we are really happy to receive, like, if you are interested to collaborate or to work with CrowdWater data or with the CrowdWater app, we are really to receive your message and like to keep in contact, and let's see how we can collaborate. So feel free to write to us, and we are always open to this.
Awesome. We'll give everyone another second to get their questions in. But I have one question for you both, because you mentioned that you're both PhD students, and you're kind of building on the work that others have helped create, and now you're taking it to even new heights. What's something about this work that has surprised you since you started your PhDs?
So we started last September, just for the others to know that yeah, we are here for half a year now, and I think for me it was surprising that at the beginning the task sounded really simple, and then I got more into it and thought more about the temporary streams and how to collect the data and where actually people observe. So there's a lot to evaluate to make sure that yeah, it works. So I think I was surprised by that.
I think that in my case, at the beginning I was surprised. Like as Miriam said, we started on September. So when you have a look in the CrowdWater data and these so many observations in so many different places around the world, that's cool. Like something really cool for me, and that surprised me to have some spots in places that I don't know, for example, or I don't have any idea where they are. So that's really nice to know that there are people collaborating in this project, and also to connect with people that we don't know, but we are connected through CrowdWater.
Yeah, I was also enjoying the first days at work, like just scrolling to the map and like checking out some pictures about rivers all over the globe and how they look differently, or like to see some plants in the background which you won't have in Switzerland or Germany. And yeah, that was really nice to actually look at for me. So if you ever like don't have anything to do on a rainy day and you don't want to go out to make CrowdWater observations, you can check out other people's observation in different countries and look at nice landscapes sometimes and nice rivers.
I just wanted also to say something because I saw some message from Paolo in the chat that saying that we are still in lockdown due to COVID. And I just wanted to say that in that case, you can also visit the CrowdWater website and have a look in the CrowdWater game. We didn't explain today, but we are planning to explain in the next webinar. So if you would like to know more about it, you can join. And it's something that, yeah, you don't have to go outside to collaborate in this other platform.
Awesome. And I know we have 2 minutes left, so I just quickly wanted to remind everybody to register for next week's event so we can learn more about CrowdWater Game. You can ask additional questions about CrowdWater and CrowdWater Game. And just as a reminder, even if you didn't attend this event, you have someone who you think should come to next week's event and they didn't attend this one, not to worry. They won't be lost. We'll get them up to speed, and then we'll delve into CrowdWater Game, and the winners of this week's challenge. I think it's going to be me. I think I'm going to win. So prove me wrong, everybody.
Don't forget the championship. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are looking forward to your observations.
Yes. Any closing messages before we go from you both?
I just want to thank you again to CStarter to let us participate in this Citizen Science Month. And yeah, for all the people who attend this webinar, we really appreciate your time. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it was really nice. Thank you all.
Awesome. Well, I'll see you both next week, and I can't wait to get my trophy and the prize and whatever else I'll get for winning the competition. So, all right. And the main goal of it, you know, the competition is a friendly competition, everybody. We're doing it because we want to make a difference for this project. So thank you so much and see you soon.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.